Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel, The Knowledge Library. Today we are going to discuss some important MCQs from the topic Biodiversity. So let us begin. Our first question is, among the ecosystems listed below, where would one find the most biodiversity? Option A, mangroves. Option B, desert. Option C, coral reefs. And option D, alpine meadows. The correct answer is option C, coral reefs. Moving on to the next question. Which forest is known as the lungs of the planet Earth? Option A, taiga forest. Option B, tundra forest. Option C, Amazon rainforest. And option D, rainforest of the northeast India. The correct answer is option C, Amazon rainforest. Moving on to the next question. From where does the active chemical drug reserpine come? Option A, datura. Option B, Rauwolfia. Option C, atropa. And option D, papaver. The correct answer is option B, Rauwolfia. Moving on to the next question. Which group has the greatest diversity of species? Option A, angiosperms. Option B, algae. Option C, bryophytes. And option D, fungi. The correct answer is option D, fungi. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following regions exhibits the least seasonal variations? Option A, tropics. Option B, temperates. Option C, alpines. And option D, both A and B. The correct answer is option A, tropics. Moving on to the next question. What is the name of the historic convention on biological diversity held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992? Option A, CITES Convention. Option B, the Earth Summit. Option C, the G16 Summit. And option D, MAB Program. The correct answer is option B, the Earth Summit. Moving on to the next question. What is the Antilopa cervicapra or black buck? Option A, vulnerable. Option B, endangered. Option C, critically endangered. And option D, extinct in the wild. The correct answer is option A, vulnerable. Moving on to the next question. Where can you find alpha diversity? Option A, within a community. Option B, between community. Option C, ranges of communities. And option D, all of the above. The correct answer is option A, within a community. Moving on to the next question. What determines biodiversity? Option A, number of individuals in an area. Option B, species richness. Option C, evenness. And option D, both B and C. The correct answer is option D, both B and C. Moving on to the next question. What is the cause of the extinction of numerous wild animals? Option A, hunting. Option B, deforestation. Option C, overcrowding. And option D, scarcity of food. The correct answer is option B, deforestation. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an endangered species? Option A, Panthera leoparica. Option B, Python molurus. Option C, Chelonia midas. And option D, Pallas Siberian crane. The correct answer is option B, Python molurus. Moving on to the next question. What is the primary reason for the decrease in the species diversity in the tropical countries? Option A, urbanization. Option B, pollution. Option C, deforestation. And option D, soil erosion. The correct answer is option C, deforestation. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following animals is almost extinct in India? Option A, wolf. Option B, rhinoceros. Option C, hippopotamus. And option D, cheetah. The correct answer is option D, cheetah. Moving on to the next question. Species whose populations have been severely depleted and their ultimate survival is uncertain are known as: option A, threatened species. Option B, endangered species. Option C, vulnerable species. And option D, rare species. The correct answer is option B, endangered species. Moving on to the next question. In India, which of the following species have become extinct? Option A, lion. Option B, tiger. Option C, two-horned rhino. And option D, dodo. The correct answer is option C, two-horned rhino. Moving on to the next question. What is the greatest threat to global biodiversity? Option A, natural disasters such as storms. Option B, pollution. Option C, overexploitation of natural resources. And option D, human alteration of habitats. The correct answer is option D, human alteration of habitats. Moving on to the next question. Does the illegal trade in wildlife products threaten any of the following? Option A, Nile perch. Option B, elephants. Option C, key deer. And option D, Galapagos tortoise. The correct answer is option B, elephants. The next question is, humans have altered dash of Earth's land surface. Option A, very little. Option B, about 25%. Option C, about 50%. And option D, about 80%. The correct answer is option C, about 50%. Moving on to the next question. Which endangered animal in the source of the world's finest, lightest, warmest and the most expensive wool, the Sahatush? Option A, Nilgai. Option B, Cheetal. Option C, Kashmiri goat. And option D, Chiru. The correct answer is option D, Chiru. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is considered a hotspot of biodiversity in India? Option A, Indo-Gangetic Plain. Option B, the Eastern Ghats. Option C, Aravalli Hills. And option D, the Western Ghats. The correct answer is option D, the Western Ghats. Moving on to the next question. Diversity of habitat over the total landscape is called. Option A, B diversity. Option B, D diversity. Option C, landscape diversity. And option D, ecosystem diversity. The correct answer is option B, gamma diversity or G diversity. The next question is, reason for diversity in a living being is due to option A, mutation, option B, gradual change, option C, long-term evolutionary change, and option D, short-term evolutionary change. The correct answer is option C, long-term evolutionary change. Moving on to the next question. Taxa believed to be in danger of becoming endangered soon is called option A, extinct, option B, rare, option C, vulnerable, and option D, out of danger. The correct answer is option C, vulnerable. Moving on to the next question. Endemic plants are those that are option A, cosmopolitan in distribution, option B, restricted to a certain area, option C, found in the Arctic region, and option D, gregarious in habit. The correct answer is option B, restricted to a certain area. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an endangered species of Indian medicinal plant? Option A, Ocimum, option B, garlic, option C, Nepenthes, and option D, Podophyllum. The correct answer is option D, Podophyllum. Moving on to the next question. What is the most biodiverse zone in India? Option A, Gangetic Plains, option B, Trans-Himalayas, option C, the Western Ghats, and option D, Central India. The correct answer is option C, the Western Ghats. Moving on to the next question. Loss and fragmentation of habitat, overexploitation, alien species invasion, and co-extinction are causes for option A, population explosion, option B, migration, option C, biodiversity loss, and option D, pollution. The correct answer is option C, biodiversity loss. Moving on to the next question. In a biosphere reserve, limited human activity is permitted in option A, core zone, option B, buffer zone, option C, manipulation zone, and option D, none of these. The correct answer is option B, buffer zone. Moving on to the next question. What is included in ecological diversity? Option A, species diversity, option B, genetic diversity, option C, ecosystem diversity, and option D, all of these. The correct answer is option A, species diversity. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following describes an area's biodiversity? Option A, gene, option B, species, option C, ecosystem, and option C, D, all of these. The correct answer is option B, species. Moving on to the next question. Biodiversity is the study of diversity. Option A, below species level, option B, at the species level, option C, at the community level, and option D, at all levels of biological organization. The correct answer is option D, at all the levels of biological organization. The next question is, how many plant species have been recorded from India? Option A, 30,000, option B, 45,000, option C, 70,000, and option B 90,000. The correct answer is option B 45,000. Moving on to the next question. The maximum number of species have extincted from option A islands, option B mainland, option C oceans, and option D freshwater bodies. The correct answer is option A islands. Moving on to the next question. When did the Convention on Biodiversity enter into force? Option A 29th December 1993, option B 6th June 1992, option C 3rd October 1994, and option D 4th October 1993. The correct answer is option A 29th December 1993. Moving on to the next question. Who coined the term hotspot for high diversity ecological regions? Option A IUCN, option B Myers, option C Odom, and option D Cormandy. The correct answer is option B Myers. Moving on to the next question. What is conservation? Option A protection of natural resources, option B management of natural resources, option C proper use of natural resources, and option D all of the above. The correct answer is option D all of the above. Moving on to the next question. Where is Ranthambore National Park located? Option A Maharashtra, option B Rajasthan, option C Gujarat, and option D UP. The correct answer is option B Rajasthan. Moving on to the next question. Which national park is associated with rhinoceros? Option A Kaziranga, option B Ranthambore, option C Corbett, and option D Valley of Flowers. The correct answer is option A Kaziranga. Moving on to the next question. Find the correct match for the tiger reserve and its state. Option A Palama Odisha, option B Bandipur Tamil Nadu, option C Manas Assam, and option D Corbett Madhya Pradesh. The correct answer is option A Palama Odisha. Moving on to the next question. Where is the Sariska National Park located? Option A Madhya Pradesh, option B Assam, option C Gujarat, and option D Rajasthan. The correct answer is option B Rajasthan. Moving on to the next question. Where is the Periyar National Park located? Option A Karnataka, option B Maharashtra, option C Madhya Pradesh, and option B Kerala. The correct answer is option D Kerala. Moving on to the next question. Which biosphere reserve is known as the Valley of Flowers? Option A Nilgiri, option B Sundarbans, option C Uttarakhand, and option D Norek. The correct answer is option A Nilgiri. Moving on to the next question. Which is preserved in a national park? Option A Flora, Option B, fauna. Option C, both A and B. And option D, none of these. The correct answer is option C, both A and B. Moving on to the next question. What is the new approach to conservation? Option A, sanctuaries. Option B, reserve forests. Option C, national parks. And option D, biosphere reserves. The correct answer is option D, biosphere reserves. The next question is, which of the following is an ex situ conservation method for endangered species? Option A, wildlife sanctuaries. Option B, biosphere reserves. Option C, cryopreservation. And option D, national parks. The correct answer is option C, cryopreservation. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is not done in a wildlife sanctuary? Option A, fauna is conserved. Option B, flora is conserved. Option C, soil and flora is utilized. And option D, hunting is prohibited. The correct answer is option C, soil and flora is utilized. The next question is, what was the first national park established in India? Option A, Bandipur National Park. Option B, Corbett National Park. Option C, Kanha National Park. And option D, Periyar National Park. The correct answer is option B, Corbett National Park. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following pairs is the correct match between wildlife and national parks? Option A, Run of Kutch and Wildlife. Option B, Gir Forest and Tiger. Option C, Manas and Elephant. And option D, Corbett Park and Asiatic Lion. The correct answer is option A, Run of Kutch and Wild Ass. Moving on to the next question. Where are the plant genes of endangered species stored? Option A, Gene Library. Option B, Gene Bank. Option C, Herbarium. And option D, none of these. The correct answer is option B, Gene Bank. The next question is, where are most biodiversity hotspots found? Option A, tropical forests. Option B, mountainous regions. Option C, dry shrublands. And option D, wetlands. The correct answer is option A, tropical forests. Moving on to the next question. Where is the Idri Idri, the largest living lemur, found? Option A, Sri Lanka. Option B, Madagascar. Option C, Mauritius. And option D, India. The correct answer is option B, Madagascar. Moving on to the next question. In the recent years, which animal has gone extinct in India? Option A, Panthera leo. Option B, Azinonyx jubatus. Option C, Antelope cervicapra. And option D, Rhinoceros unicornis. The correct answer is option A, Panthera leo. Moving on to the next question. All of the following fields contribute to conservation biology except for option A, ecology. Option B, evolutionary biology. Option C, populous genetics. And option D, immunology. The correct answer is option D, immunology. Moving on to the next question. What can a high density of a protected animal in a national park cause? Option A, mutualism. Option B, intraspecific competition. Option C, immigration. And option D, predation. The correct answer is option B, intraspecific competition. Moving on to the next question. The Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro was related to what? Option A, soil fertility. Option B, survey of natural resources. Option C, conservation of environment. And option D, prevention of afforestation. The correct answer is option C, conservation of environment. Moving on to the next question. The Indian one-horned rhinoceros has a new home in which national park? Option A, Dudhwa. Option B, Jim Corbett. Option C, Kanha. And option D, Bandhavgarh. The correct answer is option A, Dudhwa. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an in situ conservation method? Option A, national park. Option B, botanical garden. Option C, tissue culture. And option D, genetic engineering. The correct answer is option A, national park. Moving on to the next question. In which year was the Project Tiger launched in India? Option A, 1970. Option B, 1972. Option C, 1981. And option D, 1985. The correct answer is option B, 1972. Moving on to the next question. When germplasm is preserved by cryopreservation, that temperature is maintained. Option A, minus 196 degree Fahrenheit. Option B, 0 degree Fahrenheit. And option C, minus 100 degree Fahrenheit. And option D, none of these. The correct answer is option D, none of these. Moving on to the next question. What is the status of the red panda according to the IUCN Red List? Option A, critically endangered species. Option B, vulnerable species. Option C, extinct species. And option D, endangered species. The correct answer is option D, endangered species. The next question is, in what year did the Parliament of India pass the Biodiversity Act of India? Option A, 1992. Option B, 1996. Option C, 2000. And option D, 2002. The correct answer is option D, 2002. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following does not fall under the in situ conservation? Option A, botanical garden. Option B, biosphere reserve. Option C, national park. And option D, sanctuary. The correct answer is option A, botanical garden. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following animal and plant pairs represent an endangered organism in India? Option A, tamarin and rhesus monkey. Option B, cinchona and leopard. Option C, banyan and black buck. And option D, Bentinkia, Nicobarkia and red panda. The correct answer is option D, Bentinkia. The next question is, Quercus species are the dominant component in option A, temperate deciduous forest. Option B, alpine forests. Option C, scrub forests. And option D, tropical rainforests. Moving on to the next question. The correct answer is option A, temperate deciduous forest. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following has the most genetic diversity in India? Option A, mango. Option B, wheat. Option C, tea. And option D, teak. The correct answer is option B, wheat. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following national parks does not have tigers as residents? Option A, Sundarbans. Option B, Gir. Option C, Jim Corbett. And option D, Ranthambore. The correct answer is option B, Gir. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an example of ex situ conservation? Option A, wildlife sanctuary. Option B, seed bank. Option C, sacred groves. And option D, national park. The correct answer is option B, seed bank. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is the most genetically diverse in India? Option A, groundnut. Option B, rice. Option C, maize. And option D, mango. The correct answer is option B, rice. Moving on to the next question. Among vertebrates, which group contains the most endangered species? Option A, birds. Option B, mammals. Option C, fishes. And option D, reptiles. The correct answer is option B, mammals. The next question is, which of the following countries has the most biodiversity? Option A, Brazil. Option B, South Africa. Option C, Russia. And option D, India. The correct answer is option C, Russia. Moving on to the next question. In the Indian context, which species is not an invasive alien species? Option A, lantana. Option B, cynodon. Option C, parthenium. And option D, ecorena. The correct answer is option B, cynodon. Moving on to the next question. Among the following, where can you find pitcher plant? Option A, rainforest of the northeast India. Option B, Sundarbans. Option C, Thar desert. And option D, the Western Ghats. The correct answer is option A, rainforests of the northeast India. Moving on to the next question. Which one of the following is not a feature of biodiversity hotspots? Option A large number of species. No. The one-horned rhinoceros lives only in which of the following centuries? Option A, Bhitarkanika. Option B, Bandipur. Option C, Kaziranga. And option D, Corbett Park. The correct answer is option C, Kaziranga. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following animal groups has the highest percentage of endangered species? Option A, insects. Option B, mammals. Option C, amphibians. And option D, reptiles. The correct answer is option C, amphibians. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following plant species is endangered in India? Option A, Rolfia serpentina. Option B, Centellum album. Option C, Cycas bedone. And option D, all of the above. The correct answer is option D, all of the above.
Like, share and subscribe our channel.